Regardless of your skill level, by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to dominate on defense in both college football and Madden 25. Now, I've coached hundreds of players and made thousands of dollars primarily because of my shutdown defense. So I guarantee you everything I show in this video will work for you. Now, throughout this video, I will be alternating between college football and Madden 25. But regardless of the game I break the tip down in, you can be sure it will work in both games as I heavily tested them. And make sure to stay until the end of the video because these tips get better and better as the video progresses. The first tip I'm going to show you is how to shut down the run by using different run fits. Now, to look at your run fits, what you're going to do is hold both triggers, and to look at your left run fits, you're gonna hold square. So first, I'm gonna hold both triggers and then hold square. That's what my players will do if they run the ball to the left. Pay close attention to who is in run fits, because if they're not in run fits, they won't respond to the run and they'll play pass first. And then if you want to see the run fits on the right side, you still need to hold both triggers, but you're gonna hold circle. So that is what my players will play if they were to run to the right side of the field. This does change depending on the coverage you're in. Right now, I'm in a cover 4 defense with 4 quarters on the field. Now, in this case, both safeties are in run fits. So maybe you might wanna pull them down. But on top of that, when you have your safeties and run fits, this is much better for inside runs. So if I were to run something, let's say like HB Blast, you're gonna see that the safeties will actually go play quite quickly and clog up the box for us. So you have the added effect of the safeties for inside runs. However, if they were to run something like halfback stretch, you're gonna see that the safeties don't respond as well. As you can see, they're slow, they do not respond to the running back, and on top of that, the corners don't do super well. And that's the big thing with cover 4. Because the corners are not in run fits, you're not in the best position to stop outside runs. So to stop outside runs, run a cover 2. Because in cover 2 defenses, if you hold square or circle, you could see that the outside corners are instead in run fits. And what you'll actually notice is if I run, let's say, stretch to the left, you're gonna see that despite having the numbers advantage, my corner actually sheds his block and tries to make a play on Isaiah Pacheco. So pretty much, if you're facing an outside run, let's say halfback stretch, you really want your corners in run fits. As you can see, Sauce Gardner goes and plays the run to the right. And if you're playing an inside run, you want to be in a cover 4 defense. I guess the worst of these defenses is cover 3. Now in cover 3 defenses, you only get one safety in a run fit. So at that point, you might as well be in a cover 4 defense. And you could see if your opponent knows what safety that is. If I were to just run to the left side of the field, you could see the only players are in run fits are the ones in the box. What you're gonna notice is that this stretch is going to be pretty wide open. No one's gonna respond to it, and that's because cover 3 in general is a weak run defense. Now, it's a little bit different for man coverage. If I were to run something like this, like OLB Fireman, and look at my run fits, this is pretty random. In this case, the right side of the field has heavy run fits, so it would be really good at stopping runs to the right, while the left side of the field has no run fits. So pay close attention as it does vary based on your man coverage play that you select. But in general, if you can make it so that they have strong run fits to one side of the field, so right now they have strong run fits to the right, this will do really good job at stopping runs to the right side of the field as everyone will go and play the running back. So that's how you can use run fits to your advantage to stop any heavy run player in Madden 25 and College Football 25 because everything translates. The next tip I'm going to show you is how to gap shoot runs so you can take your run defense into your own hands. Gap shoot shotgun runs, all you're gonna do is pinch your defensive line by pressing left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, left on the D-pad, down on the right stick to crash them down, and you're just gonna loop into the B gap and go make a play on any shotgun run. So when your opponent snaps the ball, loop around and then go make a tackle with your user, and if they cut into the middle of the field, you're gonna have a very easy tackle with your defensive line. Versus under center runs, you're gonna do the exact same thing, just come right in the middle and then loop towards where you think they're gonna run the ball and go make a play in the backfield. Basically, you're really looping into that C gap. So if I go on instant replay, you're going to see that my user loops around all the offensive linemen and then goes and makes a play on the running back. Now, if they do run up the middle, you are pinch and crash down. So you're still able to make a very good play in the backfield. So let's say they run HB inside zone. You're going to have the whole team in there. And of course, we're there with our user to loop in and clog it up. For this next tip, I will show you how to use the switch stick to get easy interceptions. So to switch stick in Madden or college football, all you need to do is have your user in a zone. Right now, my user is in a mid read. And then when the ball is snapped and your opponent calls a pass play, you're going to flick in the direction of the player you want to go to. So for example, if I'm right in the middle here and I want to flick to this player, I will flick my right stick to the left. But you'll see after I snap the ball that it is relative to where my player is currently. So for example, if I wanted to go on this right side linebacker beside me, he's below me and to the right. So I need to go below and to the right on the right stick. But in general, if you learn how to do this, you're going to be able to cover pretty much the entire field just by using the switch stick mechanic. Now, I'm gonna really quickly show you my favorite way to use it, and pretty much the most common way pro players use it right now, and that's to cover flat routes, pretty much the whole sideline with the switch stick. So let's say they ran a play like bench, right? And I wanted to send a blitz at them. So for example, I sent this slot corner, or better yet, I leave the slot corner in a vert hook. Now a vert hook will cover this middle part of the field, meaning if my opponent were to run this play, you're gonna see this out route is going to be wide open and they're gonna be able to get themselves 5 to 6 yards. But with the switch stick, you can actually go and cover that flat despite starting on this player here. So when my opponent, let's say, snaps the ball, I could flick onto this vert hook and go cover the out route myself. That's just one example on how you could guard the flats by using the switch stick. But my favorite example is when I'm blitzing. So if I were to blitz on this play, let's say like this, I know that the flat is going to be open to the out route, right? So what I will actually do is during the middle of the play or right around when someone would look at it, I'll flick onto my cloud flat and come down and play that out route, just like so. But in another case, what you can also do when you're blitzing is on this particular play, if I were to run hard flats by pressing triangle or Y and down on the left stick in a cover 2 base defense, I could flick onto this hard flat that would be all the way down here and go play the deep corner route. So let me show you exactly what I mean. When I snap this ball, you see I could flick on to this outside corner and go play the deep corner route. So you can get really baity with your opponents and get yourself some very easy interceptions. Now we're going to take a look at how you can shade your man coverage to bag the most common routes in the game. To shade your defense, you're gonna press triangle or Y, and then you're gonna flick the right stick in the direction where you want your defense to shade. The left for inside, the right for outside. So if I'm expecting a corner route that is going to break outside, I would wanna shade outside. If I didn't shade outside, you'll actually see that the corner route will completely fry his man coverage, and then they're gonna be able to throw it for possibly even a touchdown, but usually a big gain. But if I were to shade outside by pressing triangle or Y and flicking it to the right to shade outside, this corner route will actually be covered much better. As you can see, when I try to throw it, the corner is right there to make a play. And in general, this applies to inside routes as well. If we want to stop, let's say on this play, the post route coming from the circle receiver, what you can do is shade inside by pressing triangle or Y, flicking the right stick to the left for shading inside. And what you'll see is that, of course, this post route will be pretty well covered by the man coverage and sometimes even resulting in an interception. So I highly recommend you shade your defense depending on the routes that you think your opponent is going to run on you. If you're serious about getting better at college football or Madden 25, you should definitely check out my exclusive content on victoryformation.gg. In it, we already have over 24 CFB and 12 Madden 25 tips in the laboratory, as well as my 3 game plans, 2 in CFB, and my signature Steelers tight doubles in Madden. Just 3 of the tips in the laboratory break down the best money route combo, how to roll out on any defense, and a completely broken QB run glitch. I'm also extending my last sale of 2024 for 7 days only, which gives you a $30 discount off my already discounted yearly membership price, making it only $60 for all of my exclusive Madden and CFB content for the entire year when you use code M25. Now, if you really want to take your man coverage to the next level, you want to individually shade your players. To do this, what you actually have to do is press triangle, then X, or Y, then A, select the receiver that your player is manned up to. So for example, if we wanted to shade Sauce Gardner, we're gonna press triangle then X or Y then A, and then select Rashee Rice, who's our furthest solo receiver, and then we have the option of shading left or shading right. I understand my hands are moving opposite to you probably in the video. But regardless of this, you can actually see when I do this, this will shade Sauce Gardner left or right. Now, depending on the shade, as I explained in the universal shading breakdown, this will cover different routes. So for example, the circle receiver in bunch will usually, especially in non-competitive levels, be going on in routes because obviously most players will think it's not super effective to put someone like Rashee Rice on a corner route with so little field room. So let's say they ran a combo like this where they put a drag route on the circle receiver. This actually allows us to do two things. We can shade our entire defense out by pressing triangle or Y, then right on the right stick. And then we could shade Sauce Gardner to the inside by pressing triangle or Y, X or A, the B icon, since we're just shading on Rashee Rice, and then left on the right stick. So everyone will be shaded outside, so we can just stop the whole bunch side of the field from going on like outside routes, like corners and flats, while Sauce Gardner will cover the drag routes. So what you'll actually see when I snap this ball, Sauce Gardner does a fantastic job at guarding the drag route because we're shaded inside and he doesn't give up that inside leverage. Now there's a bunch of other use cases. So for example, if you're playing something like bunch, people may have an out-breaking route on their point man. Maybe they're throwing corner routes to him. And then in routes on the two outside receivers. So like Rashee Rice and Marquise Brown are on drag routes. So what you may want to do is shade your entire defense outside by default, so triangle or Y, then shade the entire defense by just flicking the right stick to the right. And then we'd want to cover Marquise Brown and Rashee Rice, the two outside receivers, to the inside because we're thinking, oh, they're probably gonna put drag routes on. So what you can do, triangle, X, or Y, then A, shade Rashee Rice just like we did before, and then shade Marquise Brown just like we did before. And what you'll actually see is that this will do a very, very good job at covering those drag routes. You can see even DJ Reed is able to keep up with Marquise Brown. So I highly recommend, on top of universal shading, you use individual shading to cover every route that your opponent can throw at you. This next tip covers the most effective way to blitz in both college football and Madden 25, which the community calls disengage blitzing. To do this type of blitz, you need to call any double mug formation like nickel 2-4 double mug or the regular double mug. Now this is in almost every playbook in the game. Chances are it's in yours. So what you're gonna do is call this formation and then select the play mid blitz. Now this is one of the only plays in the formation that you can do it, and it's the one that I recommend you do it out of. And to set this up, you're gonna press left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. Then you're gonna pinch your defensive line by pressing left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, right? And this is what it looks like. Now this is the Send 6 version of the blitz. So if our opponent doesn't block their running back, you're going to see that you're gonna have someone coming in completely clean at the quarterback. But what makes this blitz so interesting is that you can actually send 4 people, zone out the defensive ends, and then when you have these 4 people blitzing, you can actually still get a pretty good disengage. As you can see, someone comes in completely clean. And this can even work when someone blocks their running back. This will usually make it so someone gets a one-on-one with the running back. So when I snap the ball, you're gonna see someone disengages, gets a one-on-one with the running back, and still sacks the quarterback. So really, all you have to do is pinch your defensive line, crash them down, zone out the defensive ends, and then you got a great blitz. Now we're going to take a look at the user lock-in trick that allows you to instantly get control of your user on the snap. To do this, you need to man up on the running back by pressing X or A, and then up on the right stick, and then the running back icon, which in this case is right bumper. And this will make sure that we get instant control when we perform this trick. Then we're gonna hold the audible menu up by pressing square. And then what you'll actually see is even though I'm moving my left stick, my user's not moving. So he's actually locked in. So when I snap the ball, you're gonna see that we're able to run and shoot any gaps. So for example, if they run inside zone, we're in the backfield immediately and can go make that tackle. You can actually see that as soon as the ball is snapped, my linebacker immediately responds. And I don't have to think about it or time the snap myself. The other reason I like this is if you're blitzing, you can actually do the same thing and use it to to help you get back in coverage. So for example, if we're sending a blitz here, you can actually use this trick and then get back really fast. So you can get back and go cover a deep post, an in route, or really a streak. So you really use it for two reasons. You can use it for run shoots, and you can use it for getting back in coverage when blitzing. Now we're going to take a look at how you can guarantee sheds only sending 3 players. Now most people, when they send a 3-man rush, they leave their user in a zone and they send 3 people. This is the most common way that people are running shed defenses online. But what you're actually going to see is when they do this, there's going to be no sheds that happen. The quarterback is going to have basically unlimited time in the pocket to make a read. Now that, of course, is something we don't want. So how can you trick the game into thinking you have more than 3 blitzers? Because when you only have 3 blitzers, the game will make them not shed. So what you're actually going to do, of course, is have 3 blitzers on the field, then blitz your user by pressing X or A and down on the right stick. Then with your user, come close enough to the line of scrimmage such that you will see the green check mark above his head, as well as 2 green bars. So then when it looks like this, you're gonna see, it won't always be 2 green bars as well. It may be 1 depending on the player, of course. But what you're gonna see is that when I set this up, the pass rush will be a lot better. You could see that lots of players are shedding, and they're doing so much quicker compared to not doing this. So remember, if you want to get good 3-man sheds, you need to blitz your user, hover very close to the line, and those 3-man sheds will happen much quicker. As you can see, the quarterback barely has any time as far as a 3-man rush is concerned. For this next tip, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop the best route in the game, which is corner routes only using zone coverage. So to do this, you want to run a cover 3 defense, but you also want to set your curl flats to 20 yards. This will make it so the corners can't actually get over them in this case. So as you can see, I'm in a cover 3 defense with my curl flats at 20 yards. And what you will notice is when I run this route combo right here, where I have a corner route, you're gonna see that my tight end cannot get over this curl flat, and when you try to throw it, the curl flat will be right there to swat it away or get an interception. For this last tip, I'm going to show you how to stop even more routes than just corners by using a cover 3 cloud defense. Now, cover 3 cloud comes in all shapes and sizes. Some formations have the 3 safety rule built in that allow you to get outside third adjustments on your slot corner, like nickel 3-5 penny. Some formations actually have cover 3 cloud automatically built in. So for example, this nickel 3-3 over has cover 3 cloud built in. And if you don't have cover 3 cloud built in and you don't have the safeties package, or not even the safeties package, I guess the safeties package built in, what you actually want to do is switch your package. So what you can do is flick the right stick until you see something like safety NB, FS nickel, SS nickel, SS inside. Anything that puts the safety at a slot corner spot will create this 3 safety rule and allow you to set up a cover 3 cloud. So let me show you how you can actually set it up, because cover 3 penny is probably the best formation to do it in. So to set up a cover 3 cloud out of a cover 2 base defense, you only need to make 2 adjustments. Basically, put the safety in a middle third, the strong safety that is, by pressing triangle, triangle, or YY, X or A, up on the left stick. That puts the strong side safety in a middle third. Then we're gonna do the same thing, triangle, triangle, left bumper this time for the slot corner, and put him on the outside third by flicking left on the right stick. And just like that, we have a cover 3 cloud, and this will stop a variety of routes. Just like cover 3 sky, an outside third will go and cover the R1 point man very well, to the point that they swat it away or intercept it every single time if they run a combo with a deep corner. But unlike cover 3 sky, if they ran a combo with a custom stemmed corner route, this will also be covered, because cover 3 sky, it'll get outside of the curl flat, but it won't get outside of a cloud flat and above it to the point that the outside third can't cover it. So when I snap the ball, what you're going to see is that the cloud flat covers it up to the point where the outside third can go and make a play on it. So number 1, it can completely shut down a custom stemmed corner route. Now the other route that I really like using, and it does a great job at stopping, is basic slant routes. Because we're basing out of a cover 2 base defense, but having an outside third over the top for corners and crossers, of course, we have these great cloud flats that do a fantastic job at covering routes like slants and things of that nature, which will end up being easy interceptions for you. So in general, if you want to stop the best corner routes in the game, slants, and also posts, I highly recommend you use cover 3 cloud-based defenses. Now that you know how to dominate on defense, you need a defense to apply to. So check out the video on screen that shows you 3 of the best defenses you could use in college football 25.